Hello, my name is Richard Harmon, and I lead our financial services vertical globally. Today, we're diving into the essentials of application modernization and migration and the strategies needed to ensure a smooth transition to new environments. With me are two great speakers. Could you please introduce yourselves?
Yes, it's Jim Bennett. I lead capital markets and I'm based out of Europe.
And I'm Bruno Azenhia. I'm Global Solution Architect for FSI, and I'm based in Europe also.
Excellent. So let me start with you, Bruno. What would you say are the top considerations when planning an application modernization and migration journey? And are there any common pitfalls that our customers should avoid?
Sure, it's a very good question. I mean, there's so many moving parts when an organization is trying to do something as complex as modernizing, moving their applications to a new platform. But there's probably three things I'll call out as key things to keep at top of the mind. It's making sure that the goals and the priorities are clear, and obviously there's a lot of different goals when these activities are being planned for. But the reality is that always going to be some trade-offs to be made, and understanding where are the non-negotiables is very important. So is it primary goal? Are we trying to move away from physical infrastructure and data centers and just doing cloud? Are we actually trying to modernize because the business has changed and the processes have changed, and therefore technology needs to keep up with the new requirements? Or are we just trying to address mostly the supportability challenge and legacy tech debt in specific areas? Or is this more of a cost and complexity rationalization? So understanding all these moving parts is important, and make sure where they fall on category bucket to make sure that the right strategies are explored. Then modernization should be a progressive and gradual process. It's not a big bang. And this will allow the organization to adjust their journey and learn. And then as they incrementally modernize, they'll become better and better, and speed will pick up. And we have been working with customers to help them along this journey. And lastly, understanding the application, the data, the integrations, and infrastructure landscape well, it's very important because you need to know where you are to make sure that you can define a roadmap that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. And if these things are not kept in mind, challenge will come from if you try to solve all problems at once, you may actually not be able to move as fast or move at all. And not understanding the complete picture of the landscape, again, it's going to cause big challenges. And obviously, with all the unforeseen events that will come up, it's a given. It's important to have a planned zones of possible agreements or range of outcomes that may be acceptable. So all of these things need to be thought up front to make sure that you define basically a roadmap that is feasible and will deliver value at the end of that journey.
Thank you, Bruno. Those are wonderful insights and guidance. Jim, application migration often involves multiple teams and entities. In your experience, who are the key players that need to be involved in a complex migration project?
I think you hit the word and Bruno amplified it, complex. So we're talking about using new technology and re-engineering these environments, especially at the enterprise level. So what we're finding out as we continue doing the journey with our clients and partners is that going back to what Bruno said, the vision needs to be understood. But what we're finding out is that the clients need help, and they need to work with consultancies. They just don't have the bandwidth and or expertise. Yep. So what Bruno and I have been doing with others is working with that community on defining what I call a template roadmap as they can optimize supporting the clients. And so really there's a three-way relationship. There's the client's desire for their in game. There's the consultants that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting and shifting and modification. And then the domain knowledge that Red Hat has and our expertise using our technology, and also working with both on-prem and hyperscalers and other ISVs. The other thing we have to be careful about is, these consultants we're working with, a lot of them, the rather large ones, that have knowledge across all the functional areas, and also knowledge around the many applications that are out there. Going back to earlier discussions around tech debt reduction, right? So you want to have a partner that has the girth to be able to help with that migration. And so that's what we've been working on, is fostering those relationships, working in collaboration, and making the modernization journey achievable.
Excellent. Fantastic insights. Bruno and Jim, what are the key tips you'd give to someone getting started with an application modernization and migration journey?
Yeah. So I can start with two or three. I think having a focused team that looks at the impacts from a people, technology, and business, I think that's very important. Investing in training and skills development before starting that journey is also important, and doing the change management aspect, because new technology will only be as good as the people using using this technology and taking advantage of what it brings to the table. And I think prioritizing resilience and security across the board, that's a must for financial services, and ensure that organizations get points of view on their modernization plans from multiple trusted partners. Red Hat being one of those, but collecting different experiences to get as much line of sight of possible outcomes for their journey. I think that's very useful. Jim, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think just once again amplifying what Bruno said, this is all around people, process, systems, right? And aligning all of that as you go forward, right? So you got to get the people trained up, clearly understood. And when I say people, that's going to be between partners, clients, and Red Hat. And then, how's that process going to do it? And then what is the new target operating system? And a lot of these applications we're going to modernize, or basically what we're finding out is easy 60% of those are homegrown applications that need to be, if I use the word, refreshed and retroed into the new environment. So it's critical that, those steps are taken.
Great. Just fantastic insights. And this is an area that is critical to all of our customers globally, large or small. And I think your guidance and recommendations are really well served for our teams engaging with customers. So thank you for all of these tips, and also appreciate you joining us today and the event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.